What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I know you. What was your New Year's resolutions, Todd? To get in shape.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, you can't even have New Year's like get fitness. He was on the cover of the magazine. Did you see him?
Yeah,
dude. I went into. I like put a
chisel.
picture. Yeah, I like put a picture of him next to me, and I was like, he just makes you feel bad. Stuman said he won't get in a hot tub with them.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was Kluko was over there too, right? 290 pounds, and 8%. I don't know.
That's
pretty intimidating.
So for those of you who don't know, Todd is one of our mentors, friends, acquaintances, snowboard partners, all of the above. He is the founder of Icon Meals. And just so you know a little bit about what we're working on is this new cloud-based real estate brokerage. And on CNBC, I was telling Jay this morning about the power of a cloud-based kitchen. There was a huge deal how cloud-based kitchens are partnering with Uber, opened over 1,800 kitchens. Tell us a little bit about Icon Mills and a little bit about yourselves for everyone who doesn't know Mr. Todd.
Mr. Todd. We've had, so for me originally, I grew up in Canada, been down here for, I guess, quite a while now, 20 years, but you guys might hear the outs and abouts in the house on the call and I get excited. So been down here, have 3 kids, married for almost 25 years. That's crazy. But started Icon Meals at Icon Meals now for about 5 years. We do prepackaged prepared food, ship nationwide. We're an FDA, USDA sanctioned, certified, inspected facility. Have a snack line as well. So have a bunch of different snacks, protein popcorn and other things in all the big boxes, Vitamin Shop, GNC across North America, and continuing to grow. But yeah, like you said.
How many meals y'all do in a day?
It depends on the day. If you go weeks right now, our goal is to hit 250,000 out of the new facility per week. So we're probably somewhere in the range of, we've been in there at full capacity for a little while now, so probably 60, 70,000. The last 4 years we had, it's just, if you go backwards, about 11,000, 12,000 square feet, and we were 80 people on top of 80 people, 24 hours a day. The new facility that we're in is 32,000 square feet. So we were doing roughly 55, 60,000 out of that older one, but now we have the capacity, so it's time to ramp. We've got a lot of different things, but the goal is into April, May timeframe to be closer to that 200, 250,000 a week.
Damn.
That's a lot of food.
That is a lot of food, man. All over the world? Do y'all ship all over the world?
No, based on all the regulations and international stuff. So we do ship our snacks internationally, but for our food, it's just U.S. So Puerto Rico, Hawaii, everywhere else within the continental U.S.
Man, with perishable food items and all the regulation and stuff that goes with that, I mean, it seems like you would have to have all your systems in your business pretty dialed in.
Yeah,
you know, just to.
Yeah, I say if I knew like 4 years ago what I knew now, like I know now, I wouldn't be in this business. So perishable is not necessarily a fun business. You can lose your rear end pretty quick on it, just based on you control a lot of the stuff yourself, right? But it's like for me, anytime we let it go out at the end of the day, so we ship, I don't know, Monday 1,600, 1,800 packages with FedEx. They give us a 2% failure rate on a daily basis.
Damn.
And it goes up from there. So it's basically like, I'd say it's like putting it on red or black every night on the roulette wheel, whether it's going to get there or not. And it's just, so that's the biggest headache. Like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that's the biggest area of where you lose. But and then from a waste consumption standpoint and forecasting, all those different things. So you have to have dialed in, and it's been refinement, a lot of hard lessons learned over 4.5 years. So, but yeah, it's
Was it harder than you thought it was going to be?
I don't know what you define as hard, right? Because I don't really know any different. It's sort of, as you guys do, you guys have gone through a lot of different things, and it's just sort of put your head down. And it's like you said, it's life by design, right? So it's what you want to do. It's a passion for what you do. And then it's going to happen whatever which way. So from a hard standpoint, when people say, hey, life's hard or my job's hard, I'm like, I don't know what you're comparing that to. So there's been challenges. We've overcome all the challenges. Like in the food industry, I think one of the biggest things that really kicked me in the rear end at the start was the first time I ever got someone who wanted to sue me, right? And I was like, what the hell did I do? Because I'm like try to be integrity and honest and all that shit, and don't do anything like under the curtains or whatever. And from that standpoint, the lawyer's like, dude, just wait. Like, you're just getting started. Like, everyone and their mother, you're like the moving target as you grow, right? There's always going to be someone that feels entitled or enabled or whatever to try to see you. And I don't know. It's like,
how'd your mind shift on that?
The shift is like, it's like, hey, what's this going to do? Like, impact wise, did I do anything wrong? No, right? And then moving forward, like, is this really going to affect me 5 years, like a year down the road? It's like overcome and deal with it. You can do two things, right? You can like a lot of it's intimidation. It's like the Google factor, right? You're the guy with less money and stuff, and someone's lawyered up on the other end, and they've got all this money, and they think you're just going to end up settling with them, right? But one thing I've learned, I think, over 4 years is it doesn't matter. Any lawsuit you lose, okay? Like, even if you win, you lose. Like, I won't get into it, but an employee that went ahead and tried to sue us, right? I hired her, great relationship, all this stuff. Didn't know she's pregnant, whatever. We laid off a bunch of people, laid off her. Great relationship after laid off, gave her like severance, all this stuff. 8 months later, okay? She comes back and tries to sue me for $250,000 because I whatever against her because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And, like, discriminated, right?
Right.
And tried to sue me personally and then the company, and I'm like, dude. But again, 4 months later, we end up winning. It's funny though what happens, right? She goes down from 250 to 200 to 160, 140 to 100. I'm like, finally just told my lawyer, hey, this is like, get her away. Like, but still, like, we won, but it cost me money.
Right.
Because she lawyered up with someone. It's just, so there's just different things in business that, like, you get thrown at you, right? It's like, hey, so I say blinders on. I'm like that racehorse. I got one focus, right? And I'm obsessed with that focus. And for me, sure, there's going to be things hitting my blinders and stuff different ways, but I'm going to deal with them. I'm not going to consume my time or my mind. And that's the biggest thing. Once you get it, that you don't consume your mind with anything that's not pushing you forward, I think it becomes easier.
Right.
And that's the thing that I had to learn and overcome at the start, because dude, the first time I remember though, like, I was like, holy shit, like, this is the end of us, blah, 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 blah. And
Well, let me ask you a question. What percentage of your sales come from online?
I got 0 salespeople.
So you're saying how many waiters you got?
Yeah.
So you just have.
So we've built, like, a lot of it comes from our e-com, so probably 90%, right? So if you split the business, like all our food, 90% is direct to consumer. We have, I'll call it 10% that's a wholesale component. And that's more or less like, I don't know, in Dallas, the Ultimate Sports Nutritions, the different Max Muscles and stuff like that, and some gyms. But then the big box retailers, so on the snack side, a large portion of that is like the Vitamin Shops, NutriShop. We do a lot with the Army Air Force Exchange. So it's pretty cool because all around the world on the depots and bases, you'll see our protein popcorn and other things. So, but yeah, 90%, we have a large influencer base. So not the traditional, like a lot of people like feel like these influencers, they get these big salaries and you see people do pay for posts. That's not us. We've got a different relationship with our influencers, but we've got a pretty deep, I'd say well over 100 million reach if you took all our influencers. Again, some of those guys got 12 million followers. Some of them have 300, but again, it's sort of the mix and stuff and how the engagement rates are really what's key, right?
So do you sell from social? So do
yeah, it's all
social?
social. Yeah.
So you built a company that does. The goal is to do 250,000 meals a week, all online, mostly 90% online sales.
Yeah. So just to
and you sell from social. Most people meet you through influencers.
Yeah.
This sounds like the future.
Yeah, I think it is. So just to clarify and not have anyone say, hey, you're lying or whatever, like we do have a part of a line that does some private label. Okay. So that contributes to a component, but of that private label, you're talking less than 20,000 meals a week. So
Yeah.
it's not a big piece of it.
But that's still JV.
Correct.
The point of this podcast is that you're looking at your distribution streams. I know you use affiliates, you use influencers, and for the listener listening to this podcast, it's like J. Abraham 101, right? I mean, it's like, what are all the ways that you can, you're leveraging
well, 100%,
every way.
It's leverage. And it's like the biggest thing is the internet makes it where you don't have those boundaries anymore, right? So like I compare us though to, I say we're treading water, not because like treading in a financial way, but treading water, right? In the ocean. And you have cruise ships and you have these speedboats going by and no one sees us because they're going too fast and we're not shooting off those flares with this big ad spend on Facebook and stuff, right? But then the guy on the paddleboard, he's like going slow and like he sees us, right? And so the people that are buying from us are the only people that know about us right now, right? So my last company, we're spending about $250,000 a month on ad spend on Google and Facebook and stuff. And we're not doing that right now. We've kept it lean and stuff. So from that standpoint, in 2020, we do have a digital strategy that we will do more focused funnels and all the stuff you talk about, like landing pages and different things. We're doing some of that now, but that's going to step up quite a bit. And then we've done a lot of, we've worked with a company called Criteo. I don't know if you're familiar with Criteo, but we do a lot of like retargeting and stuff through them. And if you're in the space and you're doing retargeting and you don't know about Criteo, I'd take a look at Criteo. But so we've done more of that. But again, you have to look at, because with food, it's different, right? It's not like I'm selling supplement where I have 70% margin. It's
Right.
Perishable food, you got maybe, I don't know, 20 points or a little bit more, and then you're playing with FedEx loss and all this other stuff. So you have to have a strategy that makes you still profitable, right? And you have to look at a lot of people, I think, in this food space, there's a ton of people that want to get in this food industry right now. And it makes me laugh because one, they don't know a lot about that, but two, it's not apples to apples. Like we've worked our rear end off to get inspected, right? Like, so first we had with Texas, the state inspection, grant of inspections called, then FDA, and then USDA. Well, there's a whole nother level of like what you have to manage your business. It's like you guys, right? You guys are with EXP and you're bringing in other people based on the standards and what the business is and hey, it's a better model, etc. But again, there's probably little realtor guys that pop up all over the place all the time. It's the same here. You got like, I won't mention, but another company in Dallas, like used to cook in a strip joint at night, right? Because why? It was cheaper. After hours, they got these open kitchens and stuff. But let's say you're getting your food and you have some big influencer that maybe works with them and they're saying, oh, this is awesome food and it's 50 cents cheaper. They don't know if it's freaking cooked in grandma's kitchen or a strip club, right?
Yeah.
Ours is FDA, like it's inspected. It has to go through a bunch of things. Even for us to get labels, it takes probably 2.5 months because it's got to be signed off on chemical analysis, all this other shit. We go through 90 pages of HACCP, which is like a critical control points on a daily basis. But again, so there's a big, the hardest thing I think is probably maybe the same as you, like educating the end consumer or educating someone that's about to work with you, the differences on the businesses and things. And we plan to do a lot more of that as well, documentation wise and stuff. So
do you have like food scientists?
Yeah. So
really?
Yeah, you have to, basically on formulations and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah. So we work with a couple of some smart people. It's like the Rain Man, right? The one's a woman, and Nassim, and she kills it. But they've done stuff with Quest, so the formulations for Quest bars and all that in the back. And then you work with some nutritionists and different. We work with two main labs in Dallas, AFL, and then FSNS, which are the two big ones where we submit all the meals and snacks and stuff.
Nice.
That's awesome. So I have a question for you, man. When you, what would you say is like the crossover point for you and your business when it really started to kind of blow up? Like, was there any kind of action or anything that you took, or was there any kind of big moment that was like, man, this is the crossover point?
I think if you look at it, there's probably a couple different crossover points, right? There's on food, it's a volume-based business. So you have two decisions. You can stay small and you can do like Dallas, or you can do within the Zone 1 FedEx, right, where it's cheap and stuff, and you limit your loss and liabilities and all that stuff, and you're only going to ever get so big. Or you make the decision it's got to be a volume. So volume is scale, right? Where I had my data centers before, at a certain point you're putting out money because you're building a platform, right? And then like cloud, okay? But at some point you can have much more consumption, many more businesses, like the hosting model, right, on that server, et cetera. So it becomes like, I'll call it an ATM or waterfall at some point. There's no more expense. It's a fixed expense. And that's the same way with the kitchen runs, right? It has to be a volume-based business. But you also have to look at and understand the lifetime value of a customer, and so many people don't want to take that risk, right? They're like, hey, on Facebook, well, what's my return? Well, return on ad spend or whatever it is. You're not going to get that based on having those margins, right? So you have to look at what you're doing. Are you going to lead with like a snack product that you have 70% margin or 80% and you can play with more, and then go back and retarget them on the value for the meals, so there's different things, but
that brisket grilled cheese.
Yeah, there you go.
That protein popcorn.
Yeah, and when you say like from a product standpoint, I think one of the things that's helped us on a brand side is protein popcorn. When we did come out with that's one thing that enabled us to get into some other channels. The other thing would be working with some top well-known influencers and things. And again, I'm a big proponent on building your network and like building your family. And family, when I say family like within Icon, right? It's people that we want to work with. I don't care. Like we probably get 30, 40 people a day that come in, hey, I should work with you because I'm this person or that person. I'm enabled, I'm entitled. And I'm like, it's hilarious, right? Half the crap you see. But we want to work with people that we want to work with and that have good values and things, but also going to have fun. And I think getting into some of those networks and circles and things have enabled us to take the brand to a different level. And I think a lot of people think we're a lot bigger than we are. It was funny. I was in Orange County the other day, and I was walked into a mall, and I had my Icon, that jacket on, and I just grabbed like a Quest bar and a Bang energy drink. And the guy's like, oh my gosh, you buy Icon and all this stuff. And it's pretty cool. And then me and Deb were at dinner the other night, and the kids, I had the jacket again. He's like, oh my gosh, I love Icon. Where'd you get that jacket and stuff? And he's like a competitor, blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty cool to sort of see that. And then to see like your snacks in Japan, it's people taking pictures and stuff. So those crossover points, I think there's many different ones along the way, but you have to look at like having that long-term vision and then keeping those points in check, right?
What is that long-term vision?
Long-term vision for us is to continue to build. I think I believe what we do
help Jeff Bezos get into the business.
There you go, yeah. Dude, Amazon's already in the business, right?
Right.
So We've had those discussions, but from the standpoint, I think to continue to build the platform, I think we can add a lot more value. We have a lot more.
What do you mean by platform?
Platform. So I look at what we have as really a technology platform, right? With food as a product. Okay. So it's.
Ooh, this is getting interesting.
It's like, it's more to me a distribution model, right? How can you reach more people? And then again, food. So a couple of things when I started any business way back, my early mentor said, you got to have two things. You got to have recurring revenue, right? And I've always had recurring revenue. I have a hosting business, other things.
Sounds like Jay.
There you go. And then the second thing, you have to have a solution to a problem. And so with I almost said Layer, that's a hosting company, Icon, it's the solution's convenience. Everyone lives a hectic lifestyle, right? It's busy, busy, busy. So you see those business models of the Blue Aprons and the HelloFresh and all these people, great, but they're good concepts for X amount of days or X amount of months, right? But then you see the subscription drop off. You don't want to spend 30, 45 minutes making meals, right? The convenient element is to be able to have chef prepared, FDA, USDA certified food. So you can, from a trusted partner, that we have the technology. So again, different point of what's different from us, the 12 to 21 day shelf life. We invested in that technology. It allows you to have fresh food for up to 21 days rather than just like the 3 to 5 days. But sort of building that up and, again, that element of convenience. Chef prepared, so mom comes home, maybe she's got 5 kids, right? She's a busy executive, she picks them up from soccer. She can feed them all the different food on paper plates within 1 to 3 minutes, or she can have that same food, chef prepared, 5-star, with her husband on bone china and enjoy a glass of wine when he comes home. And that's the element. All the busy business travelers, we ship all across the U.S. So let's say you live in Dallas, you're going to San Diego for the week for a convention or an event. You can have your food shipped in your hotel before you get there. Maybe you have drinks, you're entertaining still, but you can stay on point, right, to a certain thing. So we work with like a lot of the WWE, UFC fighters, et cetera, that travel, a lot of business people that travel, a lot of business guys or girls that travel. They can pre-plan their meals for up to 6 months. So if they know they're in New York, LA, Hawaii, whatever, they can just put all their different hotels in, ship their same food there, stay on point. So again, that platform, we're looking to better build out the customer experience. It's an overall experience, right? And build more value into that platform. So we have a few other things. And with the food being sort of that recurring base, I love it because every 5 to 7 days people order, right? It's not supplements once a month. It's right. People are going to be in that trend of ordering. So again, playing into different people's diets. We have different vegan options, different other.
Y'all have an app yet?
We don't. It'll be out this year though.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff, dude, that I wouldn't do if it wasn't.
Yeah.
If I had to go to my desktop.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So talk about the 12 to 21 days, because that's a big deal, especially with being perishable items.
Yeah. So I don't know why anyone in the food space would not do that, right? Like if you're gonna decide to be any bigger than like a few hundred meals, you need to do that, right? And it's so there's a few different ways you can do it. So if you walk into a grocery store, if you see any pre-prepared meals, they're going to be what's called HPP, high pressure pasteurization, and that's typically that's changing the properties of a food, right? That's basically easiest way to say it is like taking food 30,000 feet underwater, and the pressure, it locks it in, right? It seals that film on. But again, there's a breakdown in proteins, and I'm not the scientist, but I know it breaks down amino acid structure and all this stuff. So we didn't go with that because we don't need 30, 45 days. It's also very much more expensive. So there's another one called MAP, which is a modified atmospheric pressure, and it's basically a nitrogen gas flush. So it won't look like ours. It won't have it sucked down. But again, from a standpoint of after you ship food and stuff, we didn't go with that because of it looks like, I don't know if you had chili, it's going to look like dog crap and stuff, et cetera. So we went with just basically the one we went with the cryovac. It takes oxygen out of the meal. So it sucks all the oxygen properties out of the food. So there's no way that pathogens can be reintroduced until that seal is open. So the one thing from us is everything's cooked in our kitchen. It goes into then a cooled environment. So it never comes above 30, 32 degrees. It's plated in that facility. It's shipped in that facility, packed with dry ice. So again, I don't know. I travel. I don't even pack mine in dry ice. I put them in my suitcase, shut the suitcase. I'll take up to 40 meals and then put them in the fridge when I get to the hotel.
What?
Yeah. I just put them in between after you put your clothes in, fold it together.
And it's frozen when you put it there?
No, not always, because they're sealed, right? So again, I'm not advising people to do this, but that's what I do. But again, you could freeze them and do the same thing, right? But
again, you're saying because of the sealing, sealing technology is what allows you to no, this is important because I would be traveling with my food.
Yeah, right. So it sucks all the oxygen out, so it's tight, right? Like I don't know if you've seen the meals before.
Yeah,
but
I have.
They're sucked. Right.
I went by your old location on Saturday, and I thought y'all still were over there.
Yeah, we have the retail stuff still there, but from that standpoint,
over there, on Lebanon.
Yeah, it's in Suite 113.
Oh, I didn't see it. I left. I'm gonna go there today.
Yeah, we have, I don't know, a couple thousand square feet there. So
Gotcha.
But again, so from the technology, it's sucked in. 12 to 21 days, is what the shelf life studies came back. We put all labels as 12 days, but really it depends on the meal. And then if you freeze those meals though, like if you just bought them from us, cryovac, put them in the freezer, you're gonna get 6-9 months plus. So a lot of people freeze their meals, but again, anyone that's in the industry, I don't know why they wouldn't go. It is an investment, but it's an investment that's well worth it. So from that standpoint.
Right. Do your competitors all? I mean, you said that was a competitive advantage, right?
Yeah,
So
I think so.
Is that something that holds a lot of people back, or what are your largest competitors doing, or what are you doing different?
Oh, I think there's a few things. One, we ship overnight anywhere in the U.S. Most people only ship once or twice a week. So if you order food, we order food from other competitors all the time. So like example, I ordered $389 of food last, I guess 2 Tuesdays ago or whatever. I didn't get it for 18 days. Okay. So they ship twice a week, twice. And so I missed the cutoff. So it wouldn't ship till the next Wednesday. Yesterday, there's another big one I was looking at, we're going to buy. And again, my date would be January 22nd. So what are we today? We're 15th. So it's like a full 7 days or 8 days.
I love the 22nd though.
Yeah. There you go.
That's when we get paid.
Yeah.
From the standpoint though of us, like if you're a business traveler and you know, hey, I don't know, you got a trip, you found it on Monday, you could have your food arrive Wednesday, right? Or Thursday, or you pick the day. So that's a big competitive advantage. It's just logistics. They just haven't set up their business structure properly. Yeah. And it's a lot harder, right? It's a lot more headaches, like you don't sleep and stuff based on that. But I think the cryovac technology is one, the changing menu. We try to evolve with the menus as well.
Y'all got the best menu.
The signatures, the custom. So we cater to, I don't know, maybe.
What's your newest best seller right now?
It depends on the item. I don't know, the Angus chimichurri. There's a bunch of family style we do now and stuff too. So like marinara meatballs, and there's a bunch. Depends on what you like. So
if you like to eat like a little boy.
I don't know. There's big boy meals too there.
Y'all still got that peanut butter and jelly?
Oh, we do. It's funny. Everyone says peanut butter and jelly I can make for $1.25. I'm like, go ahead and make it then. I don't know. We still sell 500 to 700 damn sandwiches.
Yeah, but it have like 35 grams of protein
in the bread.
Yeah. It's addictive. I don't know. So there's some meals that we have, and like the pancakes. People say,
I love the pancakes.
I can, whatever. Well, then go do it. I don't know. They're protein pancakes. People buy them, and it's been a staple for 5 years for us. So, but again,
it's convenience, dude.
It is. That's what it is, right? Like people don't understand. You get some people all the time that are like the people that, I can do this.
I can
meal
juice
prep
my own celery. Yeah, but you got to clean that sucker.
Yeah.
I did that too. I had a juicer when I was moving into town. I had to decide what things were coming to stay and what things were coming with me, and the juicer didn't make it. It was expensive, like a $300 juicer.
It's funny because I was talking with QVC and HSN the other day, and they said one of the newest products was these cups, right? I think I'll give a nice plug here, but they're called Thrive or something like that. But they're basically like a smoothie or juiced cup. So all the fresh vegetables or fruit are in this cup. You turn it upside down in a blender, and then you pour it back in your cup. And it's like no mess, no other thing.
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah, but they said like before it even aired, they sold out, like because the lady had like liked it so much and leaked it out or whatever. But it's again convenience, right? No mess, no anything.
That's brilliant.
Well, I mean, you know, you're selling time, but you're selling rack space too. Like I think about your target audience. Obviously, you got people that are super health conscious that are going to be fitness people. You know, I mean, I think you dominate that.
But that's not it. Like here's the funny part. The funny part is the highest calorie meals and the best tasting meals are the ones that sell the most, right? If you put like the 900 whatever it is calorie, let's say Kobe burger, and you put chicken rice or whatever. Like the Kobe burger and those dominate all the time. And that's so.
Well, dude, to me, I mean, I know for one thing, as an entrepreneur and people that are business people that are busy, you know, you're trying to reduce the load on your mind.
Yep.
You know, and the thing that I think when I've gotten in a rhythm with Icon Meals, I feel like my whole game is so dialed in. I'm not making any decisions around food. I'm not thinking about it at all. I'm staying low.
When are we gonna go? Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest. For me, it's like it is the convenience. Just again, doing what I do, and like even driving. Right? I'm just gonna eat it when it's cold, whatever. But it's on the go, whatever. So from that standpoint, it makes a lot of.
I seen this dude at the grocery store. I'll never forget, dude. I saw him at the grocery store. I looked at his basket and I looked at mine.
Did he make you feel bad or good?
He made me feel bad. I mean, I looked at it, I was like, hey, what's up, Todd? What up? And I looked over.
Todd.
Yeah. I looked at Todd's basket. It was at Market Street. It was about probably like 2.5, 3 years ago. I don't know. It was a while back. And I remember when I walked off, I was like, how the hell does he eat that? You know, like you eat pretty damn healthy.
But it's to me, it's like just that's what I do, right? It's like not food for me. Like I love food, right? Like I'll eat friggin' I don't know 3,000, 5,000 calorie. I'll call it cheat meal, but it's not really a cheat meal. I try to. It's like
what is your share what you do? We want to hear that.
To me, it's like anything in life. Like let's say you're trading or whatever, right? You're gonna have this platform maybe of your stock or the basis, right? And then you trade around it, okay? And that's pretty much what I do. Like I feel like if I get 3 icon meals or clean meals a day in, everything else is, and again, it becomes what I know. Like for me, I tell people, they say, hey, can you help me lose weight this? Yeah, sure. You got to commit, right? And agree to commit, do what I'm going to tell you. But then it's getting you to a point of whatever that basis or core nucleus is. And then you never have to, you shouldn't be going back up 40, 50 pounds, right? If you just do a few things, you know, hey, I don't know, you got to do a meeting or you want to be like a little bit more cut or you got this thing you're going to do on the beach or whatever, right? Going to the beach. Well, then sure, we just make a little bit of adjustments, add in a little bit more cardio, tweak a little bit of food, but it's not a 40, like, and that's, I think the thing that people get, whether it's a business or food, whatever, they're all over the place sometimes, right? They're never where they need to be and making these little tweaks. And I think the successful people do that, right? And that's based on building habits and
slight edge.
Yeah, 100%. But that goes into like, I call it that 1% mentality thing, right? A lot of people are like, oh shit, I'm not going to spend like $50 on shipping, or I'm not going to spend $120 on food because I can make it cheaper. Really? You can make it cheaper for $19 more? Like it's just the convenience element. And it's, again, I think, it's almost, it should be like before you order, before you join EXP, you probably give them like an onboarding tape. It's like, you need to watch this tape before you even, or tape that dates me, right? Like whatever, but watch this, click on this video. Okay? Yeah, there you go. But again, just, it's the mind thing. It's like the craziness of, and that's what I think gets a lot of people, whether they're dieting or whether they're in business or whatever, it's all, if you're not solid in your mind, then you're going to have these ups and downs along the way. And any little thing, like you said, is an excuse, right? And I don't know, I'm all about what I say is living an excuseless life, right? There shouldn't really be like, I don't know, if you're buying, you're always in real estate, whatever, anywhere, you're buying or selling. So you're either accepting your own excuses, okay, or you're accepting someone else's if you're accepting excuses. So again, getting that mindset right is, I think, the most important thing for anything. So.
Well, I know you got an ironclad mindset. Anybody that
hits legs before hits. Remember when you did legs before the snowboarding in Wolf Creek when those dudes were smoking out in the room?
Yeah,
guys up at 4 a.m. Let me do some legs before we go snowboarding.
Yeah, then let's go snowboard down frozen waterfalls, and then on our way out, let's jump into frozen river.
That was your idea. It was the frozen river. Thank you, David Goggins, right? So.
Yeah, so basically we were in where were we? We were in Wolf Creek, right?
Yep, Pagosa Springs.
Yeah, so Pagosa Springs is this little town outside of Wolf Creek. We went up there on a snowboarding trip, and was that the first time you had heard the book
Living with the Seal?
Yeah. Right. So we're listening to the book Living with the Seal, which is about Jesse Itzler and David Goggins, his experience with David Goggins, and basically David is a Navy SEAL. He's training Jesse Itzler, who's, you know, this successful business guy, to do all this crazy stuff and basically toughen up his mind. And in the book, they jump into a frozen lake. So we are relaxing after a pretty hardcore snowboarding trip, especially hardcore for Todd doing squats and legs beforehand. Anyway, so I think it was Michael. I think Michael stepped up to the plate and had an idea. It was somebody.
It wasn't my idea.
You're shaking your head. I know that you were first in the water. You were first in the water.
Yeah, the bad thing, though, is we were in the friggin' 108, 113 degree hot springs 2 minutes before.
Yeah.
Into that river. So
yeah, so I guess what they had told us is that that the temperature of the water is actually below freezing, and the only thing that
like 25 or 27, something
right,
like that.
Yeah, but what keeps it from freezing is the fact that it's moving
so fast.
Yeah, so we decided to go all in and jumped in all in.
What happened?
Completely
just
under
so
the
you
water.
guys know what happened was just I got a pretty good memory, don't I?
You do.
On the drive up. We listened to the book and we saw a river and we joked about pulling over and jumping in that river. And then so that had planted the seed.
Yeah.
So we were right there by the river. We had to make it happen.
Yeah.
So what's up, man? You going to do any snowboarding this year or what?
I'd love to. Like I said, I'm a little bit obsessed right now. Got a few things with Icon that's trying to clear off my plate. Some different strategies and things. So we'll have those hopefully finished in the next little while, and after that, then maybe March timeframe I'll get up. Definitely.
Any what was I saw you on the cover of that magazine?
Yeah, we actually shot that back. It was in June or whatever. So I didn't know I was going to get that. We thought we were looking at
You still look like that?
editorial. Pretty close. So, but yeah, we got a few other things coming out. We got some others. I'm hoping for another. We've got quite a bit in Train magazine right now. We've got some more editorial pieces with the dad bod thing with the writer was in there with me and stuff, which was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And I had the Muscle and Fitness came out, and we got a couple others coming. So we'll see what happens. But just again, having fun with that.
What about this platform? So where are we gonna where do you see taking the platform? Because you really are building like this community ultimately, an icon. You know, it's like Amazon started with the books. I mean, there's a lot of places you can go with the platform. I mean, will you ever be into like supplements? Would you ever be into like I don't know, maybe like gloves and stuff like that? Any of that kind of stuff? Apparel?
I don't think we'll ever do that. Like our focus is more on functional food items. So we have a couple other things coming out. It's pretty cool. I won't say anything yet. But
come on, man. We want the exclusive. Get the drop on.
They'll drop in the next couple of weeks. One of them will, and the other one will drop in mid-February. But we've been working on the one for 22 months, and it's a game changer. So I have some other functional foods. So when I say functional food items, for us, it's we focus on protein. So all our functional food items will have a minimum 10 grams of protein. Most of them have 20 grams per serving.
Y'all didn't crush the protein Cheetos, did you?
There's something though. You'll like this one coming out.
All right.
So, but again, so we will expand that. I think more people are like even supplement stores and online stuff. Even if you go to Walmart, right, they're taking more space up for traditional supplements, moving them off, and what they're calling functional food. They're convenience items, right? Busy lifestyle, except those bars, everything. But again, they're going in, they're cleaning the ingredients up a little bit. So at first, when you ate like a crappy protein bar, like I don't know, all the sugar alcohols and all that, yeah, crazy, right? Sugar, yeah. So those are all changing. Like all our new products coming out, except for our popcorn right now, our clean ingredient deck. So basically 6 ingredients. They meet what are Whole Foods and Sprouts like sort of lists. There's really nothing like no filler, no fructose, none of that stuff in them. So we've cleaned up our items, and again, we'll do a new refinement as well on the protein popcorn coming out this year, which will have less. But again, a lot of people just love that as it is. So
yeah, it's a good thing to.
Good snack.
It's a great snack.
Great snack.
Yeah.
Man, you know, with everything that you're doing, you know, I mean, I see you every day in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, puddle of sweat on the Stairmaster religiously, sauna always. Man, how are you? What is like the daily disciplines, or what's the routine?
Yeah.
Like, what is the system that governs your life and allows you to be so successful and get things done?
Yeah, I think for me, it's been learned over many years. Like I'm not a guy that can sleep in, right? So it's crazy because even when we're in the islands, my wife's like, "What the hell?" Like you have to make sure the gym's open at least 24 hours or at 4 o'clock, because if not, I'm up. So for me, I built a routine that I try to live by. I'll call it, right, and that's from habits and different things. And I've had to change a lot of things and evolve my mind and things. But again, I get up in the morning, no cell phone, etc. Right, first thing I'm doing is really like do a gratitude exercise.
What's the wake up time?
So I set my alarm
3:50.
3:15, but I never wake up at 3:15. It's always 2:47 to 3:12. Like it's just retarded, right? It's
Wow.
I don't even have to set an alarm, and I'll wake up at.
What time are you going to bed at night?
So here's the thing that people say, "Oh, you don't sleep and stuff." So I try to make it my goal every night to be home minimum by 8 o'clock if I'm in town, because I put my little guy to bed, right, 8:30,
Right.
and I'll put him in bed and I'll friggin' fall asleep in his bed. So if my wife doesn't wake me up, which she's supposed to, she doesn't, okay? Then it's like I got 2 hard hours or whatever. And that's the deepest, hardest sleep, probably 2. So let's say we're in bed at 8:30 till 10:30 or 11. I get up, I'll go to bed. So if I'm there, I've got 2 hours there, right? Then say 11, so 11, 12, 1, 2, like I'm 5-6 hours a night, and that's all I need. I don't know. I feel more groggy. So from there, in the morning, I'm going to get up. I read, right? I have a certain period to read, and then it's 24 hours screwed me up because they're not 24-hour anymore. So I have to wait till 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the damn gym. That's the earliest gym.
Yeah, that's always been a pain in the butt, man, having to wait so long.
Is Lifetime 24-hour though?
No, I think we got to go back and like false advertising on 24 because they're not 24 hours anymore.
But Lifetime Fitness isn't 24?
I'm not going to drive 45 minutes if.
Yeah, but they're building one right here.
Yeah, I don't think they're not 24-hour on Preston. So.
Oh, they're not?
No, there's times. I think they shut it at 11 or whatever. But
they used to be.
Oh,
Long time ago, in the beginning.
So
why is it 24-hour not key fobbing it and just letting you come in? That's weird.
they got I don't know, whatever. They just changed it in December. So, but anyways, so I'll make it to the gym 4 o'clock or whatever. Sometimes I go in my garage, work it. It's for me, it's like my stress relief and my mind and stuff. I need that to be the person I'm going to be for the day, right? Sets me up for my day, sets me up for my family, sets me up just so I don't friggin' rip someone's head off, etc. But that's and I'm in there like you've seen me. I'm hoodie. I'm friggin'. I don't care what I look like, whatever. I'm earphones in, and I just want my time. I want 45 minutes. I don't do cardio every day. It's like depending on how I do. But again, I'm going to push myself, right? I try to be my best and do different in that way every day. And then the sauna thing is really, it's more, I feel good. Like it's a health benefit for me. So I believe everyone should do sauna, right? Just based on a bunch of different things we won't get into now. But
The research
is there. Like it's,
period.
yeah. So there's a ton of research.
But do you like infrared? I know you always infrared better than the dry.
I think there's benefits of both. Dry does different things, but like, yeah, if I had to be an infrared, if you had to pick one or two, I'd say infrared. And a lot of business people, they'll actually have memberships and stuff just to do infrared for like 45 minutes or an hour a day. But infrared's way better for your joints and everything. There's many more benefits of infrared.
I was going to order one. My buddy Joey's got one in it. You can buy them in a box. They'll you put one right in there.
Yeah. A lot of people have them in the garage and stuff, but
yeah,
so that just sort of sets me up for my day. Everyone has their different routine, but a lot of people like are nighttime people and stuff. I'm a morning person. Even let's say if I don't go, it's like a holiday or whatever and the gym's shut, then I'm still going to be most productive in the morning. So I'll go in my office, shut the door, etc. Try to not get work. I just know me, like after a certain point at night, like it's not worth me going in my office, sitting there. It's just because I'm not going to be productive.
So I got a question. So, one of the things, Michael and I were having this conversation this morning, we were talking about, working in the business and on the business. So I used to have this office in Arizona, and it was cool. It had 2 stories, and the top story was all glass, and it said the no end zone. And the whole mindset was that, hey, listen, when we're upstairs, and that was me and my business partner's offices, we're working on the business. We want to go work in the business. We got to come downstairs. And Michael was like, he's like, hey, listen, homie, you come over to my house. My house is working. Remember when you had the office working on the business? My house is working on the business, not working in the business. Yeah. So like when you're, with all of you got a complex business.
Yeah, so I'm
like, how are you balancing the in and the on?
Well, that's a great question. Just to give clarity, all I was really saying was, if he's in that room and I'm in this room, we're both on phone calls. That's kind of distracting. It's like me and you being in the same car on the same time. But if we're going to strategically work and get up and do some stuff like me and you were talking about today, then like that's what I like to do.
Yeah, I think I'm still stuck, and I know I'm stuck in the business a little bit, and that's because so we're doing some things, like I said, in 2020, which I have on the board 6 additional key hires, right? And I need to put those people in place because that frees me up to be on the business. And the most value I can add to Icon and to people and our customers and stuff is being able to deliver the vision and the strategy piece, which I need to continue to move forward with and bring those partners and stuff in. So right now I'm stuck in the business a little bit. We have 85 people, 90 people in the company, but again, a lot of them are in the kitchen. So when you look at executives, I'm still doing a lot of things, right? It's funny because the joke was like with Vitamin Shop, I think it was, we said, hey, we're going to have this meeting and bring your team. And then they're like, Todd, who the F is your team? I talked to you for like marketing, I talked to you for finance, I talked to you for like sales,
business development.
The same thing, right? So it's, there's a lot on my plate right now. We did hire a really good COO last year. She's been with me for a year. And again, she'll rip the nuts off an elephant. That's what we needed. And it's been a good change there. But I've got 6 other key hires that will be hired this year and hopefully before the end of first quarter, which allows me to then get 100% back on the business and not having to spread time between.
Do you feel like your current business is residual?
A large part of our business is residual. You got about 78% rebuy on a weekly, 78 to 82%. So it's pretty high.
And how do you have to like run the promotional schedule?
So if you look at people are always like, oh man, who does your Instagram? Which it's the worst agency and stuff. And it's like me, I'll fall asleep at 2:00 in the morning, like my damn phone in my bed or whatever. It's crazy. So I think I posted, if you look, almost 2,800 times myself and written content for 2,800 posts.
Animal.
Wow.
And you guys write content, so it takes a lot of friggin' time and brain power to write a damn post. Again, I don't know what I'm doing still 100%, but
you're doing it.
I've done a lot of that, and we've again learning copy and different things. So we've outsourced to some agencies and stuff, and I really haven't seen the like anyone knock it out of the park, right? Compared to what we believe we can do. So again, learning more. I think one thing I found in my business is, I don't know if you guys read John Maxwell or not, but you've heard Law of the Lid. And I feel like when I started this business, not started, but halfway through and in the last year, I'm coming up against that lid, right? And it's always been, I guess it's before that really, but like, I don't want to be the smartest guy. I don't want to be the guy with the most money. I don't want to be the guy with the most experience in all these areas, right? I've always had, my mentor was a billionaire, okay, before he passed away. And
he owned the Atlantis.
He didn't own Atlantis. He owned the largest real estate investment trust in Canada. He lived in Bahamas, though, off Atlantis. Yeah, his best friend was the guy that owned Atlantis. So from that standpoint, I always surround myself. So I got into, I hired 2 coaches, right? So I have 2 different coaches. And people say, why do you need a coach? Well, everyone needs a coach. Okay, we won't get into that, right? On different aspects to get me clarity in different things. I put myself in many more masterminds. So 2 years ago, I started reinvesting in myself. Like I have in my, I think it was 2018 and 19 goals, like X amount of masterminds. We did our own mastermind. Again, networking, right? For me, one of my goals even this year is still to network into 3, I'll call it high people of influence that I'm not into. So minimum per week, my goal is 3 new people, right? And that's what I was living all through 19. And that was just, it's that part of 2019 for me totally changed my business and totally changed just my circle. Like it's crazy through some of the people that we were talking about earlier that I got into. That's just, it's a different level, right? You're talking a level and then there's another level. Okay. And even beyond that, there's probably another level, right? So again, I think that's important for
so you made a conscious
business.
effort in 2019 to
100%.
three people a week, you said?
Written down in stone in my goals 2019 was to network into at least 3 people that I did not know. I call them people of influence, right? In different segments. Didn't know how I was going to do it. But again, I knew if I put myself in that situation, in those settings, like the masterminds and the networking groups and stuff, that would happen, and that more than happened. And again, don't look at that as something that as, hey, Todd's trying to steal value. It's, to me, I want to add value, right? So when I go into those, I'm always about any relationships, how much value can you add to something, not ever trying to get or thinking about what you're going to get back, right? And that's, I think, a key important thing. But that's one thing that I do have still on this year, and I've already, it's only January, 15th today. We've already been to 1 mastermind. We've got 4 more scheduled. We'll do our own this year and stuff as well. So I got 3 speaking engagements right now as well, tied into different pieces. So again, you got to make those conscious efforts, right? And that allows me to get back on the business, not in it. So
Good stuff.
I love it.
So what would you say right now if you're wearing all these hats? What would you? And I'm asking because it's up here.
yeah.
So for me, my HLAs, my highest leverage activities. What are your highest leverage activities? What do you do that produces the most value in your business? Like if you were going to say, this is like the highest leverage thing I do. Here's the top things that really make the difference. I change the outcome.
I think for me, it's like if I had other people right now, then I would say is still that building those networks and building those relationships, because it's the relationships that opens other doors for us to get our product in. Our product's not a hard sale because everyone eats, right? And everyone, but it's what value can our product add to someone else's offering. And then it goes into margin analysis and stuff. From the leverage standpoints, I think I've learned right now, I'm in the final stages, I won't mention the company, but into totally outsourcing all our digital assets and digital piece. They're one of the I think the best, and we're going to build a relationship there that's not just a, hey, I'm paying them. It's going to be more partnership because they see value in what we're doing. So getting those 2 leverage, because again, what you have here is funnel offers. That's really what that digital is for us, right? It's just introducing our brand to more people to allow them to know about us that don't know about us now. And that goes back to traffic, right? Like the leads and like Stuman's content and different things. But again, how do you throw more traffic at that? And then you get into, if you want to call it the minutiae of like your HR and stuff, those aren't my leverage points, right? But again, right now I'm having to play still on, I'll call it the finance side and different things just because of the growth of the company. So I'm having to spend time there, but that again does give me leverage. But again, it goes back to relationships, right? It's not just a bank. You have a relationship with whatever lenders. You have a relationship with vendors because they're funded product up front. So again, it's key building those relationships and just making sure that you're leading all those relationships and leading business with full integrity, 100%, because that pays the dividends for years and years and years.
Man. And you have to always manage whether that food is decaying. You once you cook it, you gotta.
Yeah, so we are pretty tight with that. My business partner Danny, he's impeccable on that, and that's been a big key part. If you had someone that didn't understand the food industry, he managed a bunch of different hotels and stuff for a long time, and so again, we built a pretty good tight knit on that side of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is it's been great just spending some time with you, Todd, man. And dude, I know that you're definitely a boss in a lot of different ways, man. And it's fun. Where can people like go and kind of follow you and tap into your content?
Any social for me is at Todd Abrams, so TODDABRAMS. And also, if you want to have you're a father or dad, you can go to Dad Bod Inc. That's for some fun. And for Icon Meals, it's at Icon Meals on all social. So if you're a foodie or like food, you should go follow us anyways. Do some giveaways, have a lot of fun content. See some good things with a lot of our influencers and athletes and stuff as well. So those are the two main places.
All right, awesome.
Awesome, guys.
All right, well, thanks for coming out, brother. And
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and you know, like we always say, the best life to live
Is a life by strategy.
All right, that's a wrap.
Awesome.
Thanks for checking out the Get Money Now podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, you're really going to enjoy our Facebook community. You can become a part of the group by going to joingetmoneynow.com. And also, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can be notified of all the new episodes.